Hello, good afternoon, Toronto. It is my distinct pleasure to introduce Tom Robertson to Radioregent broadcast facilities on the Koolbreeze Experience show. My name is Curtis Anthony. Welcome, Tom. Thanks for the opportunity to talk to you. We're going to talk about your evolution, your vision, your mission of your music. Koolbreeze is here to chronicle the vibe and magnify your brilliance. It's an honor to have you on my show, sir.
It's a real honor to be here.
Thank you, sir.
Curtis, thank you.
Yes. So, I know it's blazing out there. It's hot.
Yeah.
But you said we had the cool breeze.
Exactly. We got the cool breeze. With the cool breeze, we can do anything.
Yes. Right? Thank you. Tell me, what's a normal day for you outside of music like?
Okay. Normal day for me outside of music is basically walking my dog, just running errands. Basically, my whole day is music now.
Right.
I'm retired. I used to have a day job, which is gone now. And
all right.
Basically, it's just music from morning till night.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
That is good.
Not gigs, but at home playing.
Okay.
Right.
Take a few minutes to tell the fans about your childhood and where you grew up.
Okay. It's it sounds like a total cliche, but it is the truth. I started playing in the church.
Okay.
My father was a preacher.
All right.
And back in the 60s, now it's a big, huge congregation church with a big fancy building at Dixie and Bramley Road up in Brampton.
Right.
It's called the Bramley Baptist Church. That started in my parents' basement.
Okay.
And now it's like a big organization. And my brother I wanted to be a drummer.
All right.
Like Ringo.
Okay.
I seen the Beatles on TV, and that was a life changer on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Okay.
Didn't know anything about them. My sisters were a bit older.
All right.
I was born in '54, so I was like 9. But anyways, the excitement was in the house about these Beatles. We always watched Ed Sullivan, and the Beatles came on. I was just mesmerized. The sound of the voices and the sound of the guitars and the drums. I wanted to be a drummer.
Okay.
So what happened was I got, for Christmas, I got a snare drum for a Christmas present from my parents.
Right.
My brother got an acoustic guitar.
Okay.
Can't do much with one drum. I banged it and all that. It was really boring. And my brother's guitar was sitting there, and I picked it up and played around with it. I was playing the intro for Satisfaction on it almost immediately.
Okay.
It just sort of made sense.
Right.
So that was it. It was guitar. And if I ramble on too much, just tell me, because
you do your thing.
Okay, I tend to.
Story.
Anyways,
don't worry about
that. So anyways, the church started in our basement, and they didn't have anything for music. There was no organ, no piano at the time. So my parents started sending me for guitar lessons. And it was a small congregation at the time. It was in our home.
Right.
And I would basically play the hymns that they would sing and strum and back up the music.
Right.
And I loved it. And my father says, well, we should send this boy for guitar lessons. So they did. I didn't want to go. I was so interested in what was happening on the radio.
Right.
The Beatles, you name them, Spencer, so many bands back in the 60s.
Oh.
Can't even begin where to think. But anyways, they sent me for guitar lessons, and I'm going for the guitar lessons. I'm playing what the guy is showing me. One day he says, you don't really want to be here, do you? And I says, no, my parents are making me come here. But he says, you love playing guitar, don't you? And I says, well, yeah, I just love it. Wow. He says, but you'd rather do this. And he starts playing Hendrix in front of me. Now, to me, he was an old guy, right?
Right.
Big beer belly and gray hair. He had this old beat-up Telecaster. And he played Wind Cries Mary. He played White Room by Cream. And he wrote out little charts for me, and I was at home before I knew it, playing these songs, because he'd show me all the little things I needed. So it was kind of ironic, because my dad, that was the devil's music. It was the total devil's music. And I'd go faithfully for my lessons, and he'd be teaching me this devil's music, and he was a great teacher. One day he pulls out a record, and I look at it, and I'm like 14 or whatever age, I'm not sure. I look at it, and there's a big black guy with a corncob pipe on the cover. And I thought, that is the most uncoolest looking thing I've ever seen in my life. Like, I want the Disraeli Gears Cream album type of thing with all the psychedelia and the guys with the long hair. So anyways, I took the record home. He wanted me to listen to it.
Right.
I put the record down, and I carried on learning Hendrix and Cream and so on. But I thought, well, my next lesson's coming. I better listen to this before I go back. I took it out. I put it down. I put the needle down. And it was Albert King. I think the song was Born Under a Bad Sign.
Oh, masterpiece.
I never, ever heard anything like that in my life. That minute right there was a total life changer. That's what I want to do.
Okay.
And I devoured that album. And this guy was really good. He showed me a lot of the pentatonic scales that I needed. And from there, I started playing in some local bands.
All right.
And back then, there was not, in Bramalea, Brampton, there was no real place for bands to play. Older bands,
Okay.
yes, but not young bands.
Okay.
So we had a local coffee house. So I go down there to jam, and these guys were all great players. I'm young, but I finally get a turn to jam. My dad knows I'm down there.
Yeah.
He walks into the coffee house, an old guy with a trench coat. Everybody thought he was an art. Everybody started flushing all their pot down the basement. And I was the goofy new kid over in the corner that brought this old guy to the coffee house, and did not go well. That was my first experience.
Yes.
Did not go well at all.
All right.
So from there, I kept playing. I'd spend most of my time at home, just me and my guitar and my stereo. And that's all I wanted to do. That's all I did.
Yeah. Tell the fans about the glory days of the vibrant music scene in Toronto.
Okay, yeah. Oh, man, the glory days.
Yeah.
Okay, 1975, I think, was when I played in a bunch of pickup bands, sort of show band type of things that did top 40 music. But I'd rather talk more about blues today.
Yeah.
Because that's just stuff you do for money.
Right.
And I'm sitting at home one day. There was a band that was being played on Q107 named the Dutch Mason Blues Band.
All right.
And he had an album that just came out called The Blues Ain't Bad. And Q107 was giving it a lot of rotation. And it was just great blues. And I'm sitting at home one day. I have not played in a blues band as much as I loved it.
Right.
I was in that in-between age. The guys that I wanted to play with were just that much older, that they already had their thing going. There was not too many young guys. There was a few of us.
Okay.
We played not too bad blues for young guys.
Okay.
So anyways, I get the phone rings. And I just got married. I had a young son just born. I want to sit in for the Dutch Mason Blues Band in Toronto because their guitar player has to go back out east. I can't believe this is happening. It was a friend of mine. He knew Dutch Mason. So my first real live gig playing blues was at the Colonial Tavern down in Yonge Street with the Dutch Mason Blues Band. What an experience. These guys were the real deal.
All right.
And no, I could give you 100 stories about that. It was only for a few weeks.
Yeah.
But it was a total education. Totally an education on blues, playing with these guys. They were masters. They were the real deal.
I remember years ago, I saw a documentary, the whole Yonge Street Strip. We had so many clubs.
Yep.
It was just a bustling place. A lot of people don't know.
No, it was a totally bustling place. And the Toronto, I've always been, even growing up, not knowing a lot at the time, but I would grab as many records as I could find of the Toronto bands.
Yes.
Bands such as Nucleus, Whiskey Howell. One of my all-time favorite blues bands. McKenna Mendelson Mainline, Mike McKenna, Luke of the Apostles.
Yes.
And to me, these guys were as good as anybody that was out there.
Right.
And they were Toronto.
Right.
And I'd go see them as any chance I get down at Grossman's. The Alma Combo back then was just hopping. You'd have Whiskey Howell downstairs as a house band, and upstairs you might have Howling Wolf, Junior Wells, and Buddy Guy playing. Oh, it was what a scene. We used to get Toronto bands at our high school dances.
Yeah.
These were smoking bands, like great blues bands.
Somebody told me a story that they went to see a blues band, and I forgot who the artist was, but he had a chord so long that was it you, Tom?
No, might have been. That was Buddy Guy.
Okay, he came out
Yeah.
on the street, started to play.
Yeah, he had 100 foot, I believe it was 100 foot long guitar cord.
Wow.
Now I went to see Buddy Guy Junior Wells, being a huge fan, and I'm watching Buddy Guy that night, and I'm still learning about blues.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, I'm like 18, 17, not old enough to drink, but I could get in. And I couldn't handle myself around blues. I always ended up drinking too much and having to leave because I was getting sick. It was embarrassing. But that's what it would do to me.
Yeah.
And I went to see Buddy Guy, and he played all night and did hardly anything. A little lick here, a little lick there. And
People loved it, went crazy.
well, they loved it, but I want to really hear this guy play, and he's not really playing. Junior Wells is going nuts on the harp. The sax player is really good. But near the end of the night, second or third last song, Buddy Guy's playing, and he steps up off the stage and stands on a table and lets loose with this guitar solo that was, I to this day have not heard anything like this. And with this long chorus, walking around the room, and he walks down the stairs out onto Spadina Avenue, just wailing on this guitar. And it was like stunning. It was just like another life-changing moments. My next one was seeing 10 Years After. I'm a huge Alvin Lee fan. Playing at the Gardens. I had a seat 10 rows from the stage.
Right.
And it was Edgar Winter and White Trash opening for 10 Years After, and what a guitar player. So those guys back then and Johnny Winter were my biggest influences.
Right.
I would just stay home and try and cop as many licks as I could.
Okay.
Right?
Wow.
Yeah, it was great. Everywhere you turned around, there was great music, great clubs.
Tom, tell us some of the top flight musicians you jammed with.
Okay, well, right now, and this is like a dream come true at my age, I'll be 64 soon.
Right.
I'm actually playing in a band with Mike McKenna
Right.
and Dave Morrison.
Right.
We have, every month we do the Black Swan, and we bring out all these Toronto legends, everybody from George Oliver. We got Amber and Alex coming up this on the 15th
Yes.
that have been here on your show.
That's right.
And we've had Pat Rush out, who another one of my favorite guitar players, who played with Jeff Healey and with Johnny Winter for the longest time, and a bunch of other bands. Pat's a total legend on guitar. Other people I've played with, my mind's drawing a blank. I played in Michelle Wright's band for a while. That was a country band, and they had a great guitar player named Randy Hill, who's probably down in Nashville somewhere now. But I'm trying to think now. Ronnie Hawkins.
Yes.
That was a fun one. That was at a friend of mine was the band booker for this room.
Okay.
And he had Ronnie Hawkins booked, and Ronnie had drank too much and couldn't sing. So my buddy says, "Tom, go get your guitar and go up and do something because we need music." So I go up on stage, and it's Ronnie Hawkins' band.
Yeah.
I turn to the keyboard player. I go, "Do you know Hideaway by Freddie King?" The guy looks at me and he goes, "Yeah, I played with Freddie King for 15 years." I thought, okay, I guess you know it, right? Right, all kinds of guys. You would meet guys in the weirdest places, and
Right. Tell me, Tom, for those of you just tuning in, Tom Robertson is here on the Koolbreeze Experience show, telling the stories and passion of his craft on the Koolbreeze Experience show. Now, Tom, tell me, when a musician walks up to you and thanks you for being instrumental in his career, and you see his career flourishes, how does that make you feel?
How it makes me. I really don't. Okay, honestly, since the day I've started playing, I've never been happy with my playing. So when somebody says that, there's I always enjoy it.
Yes.
But I'll make a mistake, and that's all I'll hear at the end of the night is that mistake.
Yes.
Right? I've always been that way, and I'll beat myself up. So when somebody comes up, and it happens at Grossman's, "Oh, you were such an influence," it really just blows me away because I can't see me being an influence.
Right.
Right? But it does happen quite often.
Because when I came down to the Salty Dog last summer,
yeah.
and I saw Mike Cedric.
Oh, what a player.
I was put on to him by Jerome Tucker, the bass player.
Another great player.
And he said, "You got to hear this cat." And I said, where is he playing? I want to go see him.
Yeah.
And it so happened where Mike was playing, you were playing there.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Tex Back.
Yeah.
Jeff Carl.
Yeah.
And all
Jeff.
these other cats.
Yep.
And I was just totally blown away by Mike Sedgwick.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And I was told that you mentored this dude.
For a little while, yeah. Not for long, because he didn't need it.
Right.
Just prior to that, I would regularly attend the Grossman's jam that is now run by Bill Hedefine.
Yeah.
Good friend of mine. He's like a brother, Bill.
Yes.
And he's been faithfully doing that jam now for well over 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
The guys in his band, sadly to say, have all passed away. Brian Kober
Okay.
was Bill's guitar player, a Toronto legend. Brian.
Yeah.
He played slide with not just one slide like I would do like this.
Mm-hmm.
He had slides on different fingers.
Wow.
And he played like that with these slides, and I'm not kidding. He would do stuff on a guitar.
Another cat who blew me away was Nick Tavarias.
Oh, Nick. I can't say enough about Nick. But first off, going back to Mike Sedgwick, I'm at the regular Sunday night jam, and there's all kinds of guitar players.
Yes.
Mostly all guitar players.
Right.
Young guys that are good, right? And I'm walking, I'd gone out for a cigarette, I'm walking back in, I'm walking by the stage, and the band's up there playing and jamming, and this guitar comes out of nowhere for a guitar solo, and I almost got a whiplash just by the way he struck that first note. He hit that note, and whatever he did with that note, the vibrato and everything he did to it, like it was like, wow, who is that?
Right. Transfixed.
And I transfixed on the spot, and I've heard the best of the best. And I see this young guy, and back then Mike would stand like a little sparrow with his guitar. He was so shy and quiet and nervous. But still, he could play. And then I'd seen him the week after that at the Duke down on Queen Street. And I said, did I see you at Grossman's? And he goes, yeah. Now, Mike said to me, he says, oh, I love your playing. You play that old blues style that I really like. And at my age, old blues style, blues is blues.
Exactly.
I didn't understand it, but I've learned a lot from Mike.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I started bringing him to Grossman's with me and play it with him as much as and to watch him. I kept telling him, I says, Mike, don't hold back. Now, I think maybe the first time I mentioned that, he thought it was like almost like a challenge.
Yes.
He goes, really?
Yeah.
And I said, no, man, really. You have put the work into it that most guys don't. I didn't, and every other guitar player I know honestly hasn't. You have worked at this for years. He just started playing live 2 years ago.
Totally.
And once he got comfortable, boy, he just took off, and now the guy he's my favorite guitar player around town.
Okay.
Totally my favorite guitar player. And I play with Mike McKenna and Dave Morse. They're also my favorites.
Right.
I respect those guys. I can't say enough about these three guys. I can't say enough about their guitar playing.
Right on.
Right?
Tom, man, is there anything creatively you have not done with music but wish you did?
I've gone the whole gamut from 50s, 60s rock and roll, which I still love to this day, and I still play a lot of Chuck Berry and so on, to avant-garde jazz.
Yes.
I did that for a while back in the late 70s, early 80s.
Right.
And not really, no. I've been very blessed. I've got to play with some great players, and
Good.
I can't say I'm humbled by it when I look at the people I've played with.
Right.
Life goes by fast, so it feels like it's been like that.
Right on.
Right?
Tom Robertson, jazz music has sophistication,
Yes.
complexity,
Yeah.
and improvisation.
Yeah.
What does the blues have that's different?
The feel.
The feel.
You've got to jazz, and that was like what I learned off of Mike Sedgwick. And this is kind of embarrassing because I was never a guy that would get into guitar player magazines or all that stuff.
Right.
I would just do my own thing and was having fun.
Okay.
Then I watched Mike Sedgwick playing when I met him, and I thought, wow, he's taking all these different runs and different harmonies from all these other jazz-based influences and so on.
Right.
Combining it in blues. They are so close. Wow. Yeah, I mean, the blues and jazz are basically just so close, but the blues is more of the people's music where I can take whatever I'm going through
Yes.
and throw that into a song on stage.
The roots.
People that think it's an original song, I'm making it up as I go along.
Yes.
but it's something that's happening in my life at the time. Roots,
Yeah, it's
universal.
yes, the mother of American music.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tom, making a living as a musician in Toronto, is
Right.
that sustainable?
Not now.
Okay.
I don't. It's bad. It used to be so sustainable. Back in the '80s, I had a band. I'm not going to mention the name because they're still out there playing. A very successful band. I left because I had to play the same show every night. I just could not handle it.
Right.
I'm a blues player. I love to improvise and have fun.
Right.
And there was fear too of the success. I'll be honest. There was some fear. I felt there was too much pressure on me.
Okay.
Right. But you could make great money in the '80s. I'm basically, when I play clubs now, I'm playing the same I was playing back in the '70s most times.
Right.
For what I get now. So
Right.
it's rough now.
It's rough. Okay.
Really rough.
Right. How do you ignite innovation with music these days?
Well, it's my experience is and again too, this is due to my age and that everything has changed so much with all the digital social media. I see some younger guys like Mike Sedgwick's one that are drawing a good crowd when they play.
Yeah.
It's hard when you get to my age to get people out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't go out.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, unless I'm playing, I don't really want to go out. I'd rather stay home too.
Right.
So we do our Black Swan gig with the Mike McKenna Slidewinder band. It's in the afternoons, so I try more to do afternoon gigs.
Right. Right.
But there's not all the big clubs that we had before. Most of them, they're closing up left, right, and center.
All right. Tom, tell us about some of your milestones.
Ooh, geez, milestones. Playing Ontario Place.
Okay.
Yeah. That was with my own band. And I honestly, it was a milestone too. I went from playing in that band to busking on Queen Street in front of the Horseshoe without a dime in my pocket in the space of 6 months.
Okay.
But that's the business.
Right.
You're up, you're down, you're in, you're out.
Right.
Other milestones were playing. It used to be a country jamboree out by Hamilton. I forget the name of it now. And I got invited by. Not Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash, and Carl Perkins to come and jam.
Heavy
Now,
duty guys.
big time.
Big time.
But check this out. I just got back into Toronto. I've been back out on the road. I didn't go
Right.
because I wanted to stay with my girlfriend. I was
Right.
off.
Right.
Milestones. Some of the other milestones were playing the Misty Moon out in Halifax, which was a great club. And some of the real milestones have just been playing at Grossman's. A certain guy walks in and jams, and it's like, I can't say enough about it.
Right. I've got to tell you, when I came to Salty Dog, I said, you know what? Take your American Express with you. That's my camera. Video camera. You never know.
You never know.
I saw you jamming. Wow. I stood there with a burger, half of it in my hands. I go, yes. I've been missing all this good stuff right in our backyard.
Yeah.
Paul Polisano got up on a chair.
Yeah, what a great night he had that night.
He got up on a table. I thought he was going to swing from a chandelier and start playing.
Oh, man.
Guys were just throwing it down.
Yeah, Paul laid it down huge that night.
Salty Dog and the Koolbreeze, they're filming the stuff, putting it up. And when you told me in the studio, from all those video footages, how popular that place got, and that it's packed.
Yeah.
Wow.
It is probably the most successful jam that I can think of.
Wow.
I'll have to mention, there's another jam on... No, you know what? I'll just mention the Salty Dog. It is just a great jam. The people that come out are so supportive.
Phenomenal.
Mike and Robin do, and they run the best jam that I have ever seen.
Yeah.
Quite often I leave before I even get a chance to get up, because I'm not into the late nights.
Right. I left my show one Saturday. This is another time.
Yeah.
Come down, because Mike was playing after his interview.
That's right. Yeah.
So I come down to the show, and you have a bunch of musicians on rotation. Totally blew me. I love that. Make everybody inclusive. But they had this older cat on drum. I couldn't remember his name. And I thought this guy was gonna keel over there in the session. He stood there, wait till the band at about 8 bars. He was just like an octopus. It
wasn't Cleve Anderson.
I can't remember his name, but I was totally blown away. it was just an amazing energy. People walking
Yeah.
by the street, sticking their head in.
Yeah.
And we just had a wonderful time.
Well, speaking of guys with energy, I play in the Slidewinder Blues Band, which is Mike McKenna's band.
Yeah.
He's played with, Luke and the Apostles, the Guess Who, mainline bunch of bands from big bands of the 60s and 70s.
Right.
And we have a bass player, Hap Rodderman, who's well established in Toronto. His
Right.
dad was Ted Rodderman, the big trombone player.
Yes. Yes.
And as soon as this guy, he played with Rough Trade. That was
Yes,
the
I
band.
remember that.
Remember
band.
them?
Yes.
He was a bass player for
Yeah.
for Rough Trade.
Yeah.
He plugs in a guitar, the energy just oozes out of him. And no matter how exhausted the man is, as soon as he hears the beat, he's up and he's on. And he's moving.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it. Right?
Well, you gotta love that, though.
Oh,
Gotta
I love it. Totally respect it and love it.
All right, Tom. For a lot of people out there who don't know about the blues, I mean, older, younger, whatever.
Yeah.
You must see the 3 DVD disc with Martin Scorsese, History of the Blues.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet, but I've heard great things
I'll
about
get
it.
you a copy. Don't worry.
Right on.
I got that
Yeah, I've heard
Masterpiece.
great things about it.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, you've got to see this because you want to know what the blues. You got to see that.
Yeah.
Do you have any CDs out?
No.
No, you don't. Okay. No, all right. No. What is your concept of composition when you write a piece of music?
First off, I really need a strong inspiration. It's got to be something really meaningful to me.
Okay.
I went through, up until about 10, 12 years ago,
Right.
I went through a bad addiction.
Okay.
I got swallowed up into it, and actually down in this area,
Right.
where I didn't really play. And then when I came out of it, I got sober, thank God.
Right.
I found that my mind started opening up more to other types of music.
Nice.
I was very closed-minded.
All right.
It was either, this type of music and nothing else. But anyways, it brought it to my writing, and I had all these songs of recovery where I've got a new lease on life with such an inspiration
Sure.
that it's got to be something really real for me.
Right.
I'm not a tunesmith that can crank out a tune
Right.
at the drop of a hat.
Okay.
But when I do get a song, it will come real quick. It's usually written within 3-4 minutes.
Okay. Tom, what fuels your passion
Oh,
to continue to play music?
the joy.
Nice.
The simple joy. I was playing at the Black Swan last year, and Sonny Milne, who God rest his soul, he's passed away. He was a drummer, well established, very well known.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Sonny, and I mentioned a gig that I had that I wasn't happy with.
Okay.
And I said a negative thing about the gig. And Sonny says, Tom, there's no such thing as a bad gig. They're all good gigs.
All right.
And I thought, you know what, Sonny, you're absolutely right. The pleasure and the opportunity to still play is more than whatever anybody can pay you, or it's just that, we can still do it.
Okay. Wow. Tom, the blues artists, do they rightfully get the respect that they deserve? And why did it take the British invasion to put the blues and the respectability out there?
Yeah. That's quite the question. To this day, the funny what I have found is people will say, oh, I don't like blues. And they'll just disregard it.
Yeah.
But something, they might be at a house party or walk into maybe one of my gigs or whatever, or just happen to go see B.B. King back when he played Ontario Place and all that. And when they see it live, I go, I've never seen anything like this. This is the best. This is great. But the business is controlled more so, especially back then, by the companies.
Yes.
They regulate, the stations would regulate by their playlists what people will buy.
Right.
So the blues got sort of shuffled after the 60s, got sort of shuffled off into the background.
Right.
But it keeps coming around in circles. Right? It's a labor of love.
Right on. Right on.
You don't set out to think you're going to make a lot of money.
All right. What was the most creative time period for you?
Honestly, it's happening now.
No.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
People would say, when I was about 36, I broke my elbow. You can see that. And I was told I'd never play guitar again because I'd severed all the nerves and I couldn't move my hand.
Ooh.
And my family was shattered. They all came running to the hospital. The surgeon rewired the nerves together. And I sat with a beginner's guitar book until I could play again. I don't play as well as I did prior to that, but I can play. And I am so thankful and so blessed by that.
That is phenomenal.
Because for
Great
a few months it was totally gone. It was, oh man.
Did you get the fear of fright? Like, I could
It was the end of my world.
Oh,
Nothing mattered. I
Right.
can't play guitar. I walked out of the hospital. I woke up from the operation, and I remember the specialist saying, well, you won't be able to move your fingers anymore. And that's what came to mind. I got up, looked around, I'm in the hospital. I got the cast on from the operation, put my pants on, walked home. Was not, when I listened to them, was not giving in to them. I shut off negativity. I just shut it right out and just kept pushing and pushing.
I love that spirit, that fighting.
Yeah.
That's a warrior.
I had no choice. I had to.
Yeah, warrior.
Yeah.
Warrior.
Yeah.
Tom, what is the difference between a Fender Stratocaster, a Telecaster, a Gibson hollow body, and a Gretsch guitar? Yes.
Well, each is a different beast unto its own.
Okay.
Now, I love the sound of Stratocasters like Mike Sedgwick plays. Another great player is Fabio Dwyer. Mm-hmm. If you've heard him,
Yes,
and he's got some nice guitars. But I think the Strat's his main guitar too. Definitely for Mike, the Strat is his main guitar.
Okay.
I've always played Gibson Les Pauls for the most part,
Right.
because of that sound that they have.
All right.
And I just, being a big guy, I just like to feel them.
Okay.
And they're each, it's like their personalities are different, I guess would be the best way to say that.
The sound, eh? Okay.
Yeah.
Now, amplifiers.
Mm-hmm.
Fender Twin Reverb.
Yeah.
Vox AC30.
Yeah.
Marshall.
Oh, yeah.
Matchless DC30.
Yeah.
Hughes and Kettner Core Blade.
Oh, yeah.
Mesa Boogie
Oh,
Mark
yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Orange Thunderbird 200. Rockstar HT
Yeah.
Club 40. Laney VH 100. Soldano Slow 100. What's the difference in sound?
Okay, I think I've played through most of them. For the
Really?
longest time, I was a huge, all I played was Mesa Boogies.
Is that right?
Yeah, because I was out playing full time, my band was making good money, I could afford them. And I had roadies, so I didn't have to carry them.
Okay.
Now, when I had to start carrying my amps, the Mesa Boogie went the way of the wind. It was too heavy.
Right.
What I liked about the Mesa Boogie was I could get a great Fender sound. So I just went back to Fender, and I've been with Fender. Now I'm using a Fender Bluesman Junior, which is a little small combo.
Yeah.
Cheap amp, sounds great. But I've always loved Fender for the reverb and for blues, Fender good amps.
Remember last year I saw Mike Sedgwick play, and that Fender amp, after intermission, I wanted to hold that amp.
Yeah.
Kiss it like a woman.
Oh, I know.
He looked at me, he said, "Don't you touch my baby."
Yeah.
I said, "Mike, let me just kiss that amp just once."
Mhm.
The sound, I fell in love with it.
A lot of that sound
Yeah.
is in his hands.
Okay.
I always tell Mike to this day, you've got magic in your fingers.
Okay.
Magic in your hands. I stopped at the Salty Dog last Friday to meet a friend of mine, and I introduced him to Mike. I said, this guy's got magic in his hands. And he laughs, but he knows he does.
So you played with all these amps I call,
At different times over the years.
and you revert back to the.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
peop-
Fender. Just love a good Fender amp.
I know the British used to boast about the Vox AC30.
I did a gig last month at an outdoor thing out in Tobico, and they have what we call a back line. The amps are supplied. And I had a Vox, and I couldn't get the sound I wanted out of it. Not that it's a good amp. I've just never used one.
Okay.
Right. Whereas with a Fender, I know exactly where I want to set it, and off I go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. There's nothing like the blues. That's nothing like the blues at all. Blues. With different regions in America. Chicago blues.
Yeah.
Texas,
Yeah.
Mississippi, Louisiana,
Yeah.
Memphis. What is the difference?
Okay. When you refer to Chicago blues, you're talking more of an electric, jump style, real foot stomping type blues.
Okay.
You get into the Mississippi, into the Delta blues, Piedmont, and so on, where it's more guys with acoustic guitars. The Texas blues, we have a nice combination of both. I love that. Where you have the swing of like almost like a Chicago thing. Guys like Johnny Winter, but they're using their right hand the way the Delta guys would in finger picking.
All right.
What a killer combination. Steve Ray Vaughan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Another Texas guy. So
okay. All right. So I got to tell you, one thing I admire about the blues players is the flamboyance of the names they have. I'm going to throw a few of them out. Mississippi Muddy Waters.
Yeah.
Howlin' Wolf.
Yeah.
T-Bone Walker.
Yeah.
Pink Anderson. Taj Mahal.
That's right.
Washington Sam.
Yeah.
Tampa Red.
Oh,
the Reverend Gary Davis.
Yeah.
Johnny Guitar Watson.
Yeah.
Big Bill Belunzi.
Yeah.
Lightning Hopkins.
Oh, yeah.
Hound Dog Taylor.
Yeah.
Peppermint Harris.
Yeah.
Little Walter.
Oh, yeah,
Coco Taylor. Blind Levin Jefferson. Pint Up Perkins. Sunnyland Slim. Big Mama Thor and Son House.
yeah,
It's
these guys, man, they were characters.
Wow,
they were real
they had an
characters.
attitude with that blues play.
And they lived like. See, the thing is, and I can hear it personally myself, and maybe I'm wrong, but I really hear the difference in the music between a real blues player and a good musician, great musician that's playing blues. There's just something deep. Nicholas Tabaris that we mentioned.
Yeah.
Man, when he plays blues, it is deep. It's
I saw him live.
Real thing. And it's not it's not the amount of notes he plays.
Yeah.
It's how he plays the notes and where he puts them.
Yes. I was transfixed when I saw that cat, man.
He is the real deal.
Oh.
And he's a young guy. He's only in his 20s.
I couldn't believe that either.
He plays like he's up in his 60s, like with experience, right?
Wow, this is unbelievable. It's Tom. It's.
But these guys, they're a rough bunch of characters, man.
I'm telling you.
Right?
One of the things that I wanted to be in radio a long time ago.
Yeah.
Growing up in Trinidad and Tobago and all that. My uncle was a DJ and all that kind of stuff. But the element that had me brought to bring video to my show, it was I was watching a lot of these jazz documentaries, a lot of the blues, and let me tell you, I was not happy how they treated these blues people. You didn't have film to show all these great giants of blues.
Yeah.
And then you find guys going up in an attic in their home. Oh yeah, I did this in 1935.
That's right.
Bring it up, and it was stored in a
right.
museum.
Yep.
And things like that.
Yeah.
And you hear these upscup stories just vocally.
Yeah.
I said, wait a second, Koolbreeze, you're going to bring this element to Toronto and document the artists.
Yeah.
Let them tell the story of their passion and their craft.
Yeah. Yeah.
And all that stuff will
Great.
be restored.
Yep.
With local artists. I do it with the States artists coming on.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen you getting calls here from the States when I'm sitting here waiting.
Thank you. And I would not let this go unnoticed. We have great talent in this town, but some of the big networks, they want a certain kind of individual all the time.
Yeah.
I said, no. I'm going for large, medium, and small.
Right on.
And we're going to tell the story on the same level and put it out there on
all music.
Exactly, social media. You're going to get the time of the day from Radioregent.
Yeah.
And your brilliance would be magnified, and we're going to tell what the story is all about with the artists. And I hate to see talent wasted. And some of these guys I never heard of.
Okay.
And so we bring them to light.
Yeah.
But I've got to tell you, anything else you want to plug in there? Shout-outs?
Let me think.
Before we get into some playing live. Yeah.
Well, just that Koolbreeze, just the fact that you're doing this show. And you're talking to a guy like me, because to me that's incredible that I'm here on your show.
Thank you.
To begin with.
I'm honored.
Because I've just always played because I love it.
Yes.
I went through my stages where I thought I was the greatest thing since sliced bread when I was younger and so on.
Yes.
To find out was just nowhere, got out of it, got back to blues. I've stayed with blues.
Right.
And I try to learn from everybody that I can.
Right.
And the blues, I don't believe the blues will ever die. It's always sort of faded in and out.
Yes.
But what you're doing here
is
a huge thing that it's putting a spotlight on it. And it's people are going to be hearing it,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
And it's out there. It's on the social media. It's on the airwaves and everything else. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. I was watching a show in the Beaches Jazz Festival last summer, and I didn't meet Mike Cedric at the time.
Right.
I was looking at me. I was
Yeah,
taping Jerome Tucker.
yeah,
And when the band at intermission time, he walks up to me.
yeah,
"You're the Koolbreeze, I know who you are."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
He says, "You have no idea of the magnitude of what you've created."
See, yeah,
I
Yeah.
was just totally blown
Yeah.
away, Tom. Like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Because I'm on
It's true.
I'm on the production line.
Yeah.
I'm making music. I'm playing music, and really I'm putting all this stuff together, and you don't see in that light.
I
Sometimes.
I can honestly, and I've got to tell you, I have never seen. I've been here about an hour and a bit. I've never seen a man ever multitask like you are.
Thank you.
I've done interviews on like TV stations
Yes.
and big FM radio stations where they got a whole crew. One guy does this one.
Yes.
You're doing it all.
Thank you.
And it's seamless. It's incredible, man. I don't know how you do it.
Thank you.
Right.
I got to run the radio board. I got to run the phone. I
Yeah.
have the video running. I have
Yeah.
to keep you entertained. I've got the sound bites, the autograph, sign the board.
Yeah.
Everything, and the phone calls coming in.
And you stop for the phone call, right? Yeah, that's quite a talent.
Yes, and
Yeah.
it's the passion and the love that we do. I don't get paid for this, Tom,
No.
but when I come into
I'm
the
surprised
studio,
to hear that.
Yeah, when I come
I
into
really
the studio, I treat it with the respect like I'm getting paid $500,000.
Yeah.
With bonus 1, bonus 2, and all the amenities.
Wow.
I played with the worst weather. I come in here in the studio
Wow.
and perform,
That's something.
and people really respect that.
Yeah.
And worldwide, global, they call
Yeah.
me and they tell me
Yeah.
about this on
Yeah.
Facebook, and I'm really loving that vibe, and hopefully to continue and magnify some of the talent we have in Toronto.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Tom,
Yeah.
it's a pleasure having you in the show.
Oh, thank you so much.
I'm going to play, I like to say, it's such an honor having you here, man. The energy that you brought to the studio is just phenomenal.
Oh,
And the
okay,
stories.
Thank you.
Thank you for stopping by Radioregent on the Koolbreeze
Yeah.
Experience show. Thank you for showing your love to our city at Radioregent broadcast facilities that which manifest in our greatness. We're gonna play us tune, and we're gonna go live with some
Okay.
studio performance.
All right.